Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. While the imbeciles are stuck in Ukraine and are stuck and focused on Russia, the rest of the world goes about its regular life, which is preparing for these imbeciles to get off the imbecilic horse they're riding. I'm talking about the Europeans mainly. The United States of America seems to pick a little bit seemingly a different route, which is let's talk with the Russians. We lost, so let's shuffle the cards again. The Europeans, on the other hand, are totally in a state of delusion. Let me show you. The European powers meet together to plan against Russia, while Russia, India, and China are doing things as regularly, which is drills, the foreign ministers meet, and Mr. Wang Yi, the foreign minister of China, visited the Kremlin, Moscow, for a few days, spoke with Sergei Lavrov, met with Vladimir Putin. They spoke about what we're gonna do in the future, while the other baboons are stuck in Ukraine. The Russians and the Indians are launching joint naval drills, and the Europeans are thinking of fighting Russia. I'm going to show you a picture, a picture speaks 1,000 words or something, with the baboons in Europe who feel very important about what they're doing. So let's start first with this article coming from Russia Today. And here it is. It is from the 1st of April 2025. India and Russia launched joint naval drills. The annual Indra Navy exercise aims at strengthen defense cooperation within the two countries. Defense against whom? Whomever. So these guys aren't preparing for something. You say, okay, that's annual. All right, that's annual, but still, this could be cancelled, but it isn't. Next. This is from Sputnik, from 7 hours ago, today on the 1st of April. Wang Yi, this is the foreign minister of China. China will not accept America first, built on American bullying. That's exactly what I said. The president of the United States of America and the administration is on a reshuffling the world order in a way that sounds like this. You are a country, I am a country, and I am, better than everybody else, obviously. And I say, well, I want your car. And you say it's not for sale. But I say, well, let's make a deal, the art of the deal, right? And you say, but it's still not for sale. And I'm going to start negotiating with you like this. If you don't come to sell your car that you don't want to sell, I'm going to come and in the face. And you say, well. All right, let's go and discuss the car. Let's negotiate. Okay, we'll sit down and negotiate. And I say, okay, first you said the car is not for sale. Now, I will give you $5. This is the negotiation process. I give you $5 for your car. You say, $5 for my car? Well, you know what? I give you $6. Big increase, after all. And you say, no. No, it's going to be about, $59,000. What? I give you $6. And you say, no. I say, then I will come in your face. You got to sell it to me for $6. So this is the new way of acquiring other people's property, lands, influence in other territories by negotiation, which I call it the art of the steal. You steal things. So the art of stealing other people's properties by threats and blackmail. Not even the guys in Chicago in the 30s and 20s acted so upfront, which, I like when people are upfront, being thugs or being saints, like the Netanyahu, for instance. So let's see what Wang Yi said about the United States of America and where he thinks the world is heading to. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi embarked on a 3-day official visit to Russia Monday for talks with top Russian officials, including his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov and President Putin. In an exclusive and wide-ranging interview with Sputnik, Wang outlined the current state of play in world affairs. Ukraine peace deal must account for root causes of the crisis. Now, I know that the media operatives in the West says the root cause of the conflict is the Russians' mentality and their desire to be an empire again, imperialistic tendencies. This is the whole thing. They want to take over everyone else, unlike Trump. So this is the narrative. Now, reality is not that. Reality is NATO. NATO is the root cause, right? And everything else is secondary, tertiary. Let's move. China is ready to play a constructive role in a settlement together with the international community. Good for you. All right. You cannot achieve peace laying down. You need to work and achieve it through hard work. Good for you. China's attitude towards Russia-US normalization. A lot of people said that China will be, I think it's very inaccurate and baboonish to think that Russia will immediately jump on US's bed after he was left 5 times already. No, and punch in the face and all that. It's not going to happen. That is, they think that the Russians are waiting like an X for a little sign from an X who left this X. It's not going to happen like that. Oh, United States of America says, Russia, come over, let's talk. Okay, I'm coming. It's not that. It's United States of America actually acknowledging publicly that it lost in Ukraine. So it needs a new approach, which is the fondling approach, which is we're going to just infiltrate you as friends. And when you don't pay attention, right there with a knife in the back of the neck. So here you have the Chinese saying, nothing changes, and I'm going to show you what Russia and China decreed in 2001. Very important. So, steps towards a return to normalcy in Russia-US ties are good for stabilizing the balance of power between the major powers and instills optimism in distressing international environment. Have you seen Annalena Baerbock speaking like this? Have you seen Liz Truss or what's his name, David Lemay? Isn't that the foreign minister of Great Britain? And others. Have you seen them? No, they talk like baboons. Now, the modern world is facing growing deficit of certainty. In these conditions, major countries must, by fulfilling their obligations, act as stabilizing factor in an unpredictable world. Well, the unpredictable world was created by the guys NATO. Russia and the United States, as leading world powers and permanent members of the United Nations Security Council, bear a significant share of responsibility for peace and tranquility on the planet, especially when it comes to global strategic stability. Now that's a diplomat for me. I don't know about you. China will never accept America first by American bullying. Right here, the United States itself is sick, but is forcing others to get treatment. Wang said, emphasizing that Trump's trade wars will, and I'm quoting, cause serious damage not only to the global market and trade order, but to the United States' reputation as well. America first cannot be achieved by American bullying, especially to the detriment of the interest of other countries. You got it? Next one. Steps US must take to eliminate nuclear danger. So, the United States is the central actor when it comes to global strategic security. The US nuclear sharing and extended nuclear deterrence efforts to create a global missile defense systems and the deployment of the US ground-based intermediate-range missiles and other strategic weapons near the borders of other countries serve to undermine global strategic security, he explained. Obviously, you bring your weapons, rockets, missiles next to other territories, they feel threatened. And here, 3 pillars of China-Russia relations. This is what I'm going to talk about for a little bit. China's foreign minister highlighted 3 characteristics, features of the special relationship between the Eurasian neighbors, China and Russia. And look, read the first one. 1. Quote-unquote, forever friends and never enemies. Well, it's words, but actions in this case match the words. The statement, the central principle from the 2001 Russia-China Treaty of Good Neighborliness, friendship and cooperation. Second, this is what China and Russia and India, big country, expect and demand from the United States of America. Equality and mutually beneficial cooperation. Equality in the way you guys treat us. Third, non-alignment, non-confrontation, and non-directionality against third parties. This is NATO. Got it? Chinese-Russian relations do not pose any threat to others. Well, okay. Much less are they object to outside interference. That's true. And are not only a modern example of a new type of relationship between major powers, but an important stabilizing factor in the turbulent world. Well, because right now you guys are ganging together against the big bully. That's why I need to talk like that. But remember, you have to do it because one by one, you're gonna be click by the big bully. All right, my friends, that's about it with it. Russia, China smashed fascism together. History, hurrah, we're together. I will show you the last article here with the big European powers, and I have to mention Poland. Poland is mentioned as a European power. It's something that is very, very dangerous for other countries that are not European powers as Poland is. Why? I personally think Poland is a frustrated country, as China is. Why? When you were, lately, let's say the past more than 200 years, to be more exact, 230 years, if you were in the past 230 years beaten all the time, dismembered as a country, raped over and over, you got a lot of frustration, a lot of hatred towards the perpetrators that you can point out to, even though you tried to pay back from time to time, but you couldn't. So I can mention the Germans, I can mention the Hungarians, I can mention the Austrians, I can mention the Russians, I can mention many countries that Poland over and over. And Poland is emotionally scattered. And if you think that Poland, the way I know the Polish people, would just say, forget about it and let's be friends, you don't know the Poles. The Poles have balls. That means once they will have the upper hand, they will pay back what they had for 230 years. Why do I say 230 years? Because Poland was dismembered in 1794 or so. So 1794, 1894, 1994, 2024, so about 230 years. So, and not only that, it was not only dismembered, until the First World War it was dismembered. And then it was put together. But then came the Second World War. Again, there were After that, it was the communists imposed on them by the Americans, who left them in Stalin's clause and Kaganovich's clause. So they were frustrated. The only time I would say Poland was kind of independent was after it became a little bit more independent, which is jumped from one boat, which is the communism, that they keep them under their thumb, to the other guys, to the good capitalists. That's it. Maybe let's subtract the past 30 years, and that's it. Other than that, frustrated country. And now they're arming like crazy, and they have pretensions, and they think about, being a power. Let me show you. And there's nothing wrong with that. My only concern is when Poland will get military strong, maybe economically stronger than the neighbors, is going to ask for things. And when they're not going to ask, they're going to copy Donald Trump's ways with Americans' approval. Remember, they will always have a master. Why? You're not that big, actually, not that strong. So let's go to the article. New Voice of Ukraine. This is how the Ukrainians portray this meeting. European powers. These are dying whores in beds that nobody wants to pay to fuck. That's what it is. Mulls new Russian sanctions. European powers. And here are the European powers. Mr. Sikorsky is happy over there with imbecile Le Cornu. Look at his hands. Look at his hands. Look at that guy. Imbeciles with mental issues behave like that. Look at that guy. I think this is Le Cornu, is he? The foreign minister of whatever, right there. Let me give you the better look. I mean, look at that guy. I mean, look. And that is the foreign minister, I think, of France. This is Mr. Sikorsky, who's a guy who works for the Brits. Right? I think this is a baboon infantile as Miss Baerbock. Look at this one. How happy. Look how happy she is among this guy. Look at this. Have you have a colleague in school looking like this and being like this? I had, but now he's a foreign minister, so good for him. And look at this guy. Look at him, Mr. Lemmy. And this is like, what the hell am I doing here with all these baboons? So here you have, I was about to say something, but I'm not going to say. Lemmy isn't just off. Lemmy doesn't know much. She doesn't know anything. I don't know this guy. I just look at his face. I know this guy. I know the Le Cornu guy. I think that's what he is here. But let's read the article, shall we? Foreign ministers of Ukraine's key, powers, European partners are weighing new sanctions against Russia to force a ceasefire. These guys are getting way ahead of their skis. This is the, I don't know how even to call it, the Magnificent Seven. There are seven? That's seven. The Magnificent Seven. Oh, fuck me, Freddy. At a meeting of the group known as a G5 Plus, Weimar and Madrid, diplomats from Spain, Germany, France, Italy, UK, and Poland, along with the U.S. High Representative of Foreign Policy, Kaja Kallas, an infantile like Baerbock, issued a joint statement urging Russia to agree to an immediate and unconditional ceasefire on equal terms and full compliance. What do you mean unconditional ceasefire on equal terms? Well, if I tell you to unconditionally surrender, for instance, that means you have no beep, 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 you're zero, you're done. That means you're bent over, pants down, and wait for me to do whatever I want, how long I want, however I want, and so on. I mean, no, I want equal terms. And says who? The European powers. Did I read that? European powers. Right? So I figured out the sound of a one-hand clapping. Alright, this is the one-hand clapping. If you don't know what that's about, all right. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The dogs are barking, and the caravan keeps moving. That's exactly. Europeans are barking. They have no teeth. Don't forget, Great Britain is a opossum. You know the opossum, how he is? It's harmless. Opossums are harmless. They just, when you go towards them, they're like, play dead. That's the United Kingdom. It's a big of noise. I tell you what United Kingdom has. Two things. I mean, without the baboons that are fueling all these two things. First, they have a very good network of spies and influence. You know, people that work for them. And a second, they have money. I don't know how, because they're kind of not producing shit. You know how. So they have money to bribe through their spies to overthrow things and control other countries. That's all. Military people, you screwed yourself already. You've been bankrupt since 1945. You lost your possessions. Your empire collapsed. But hey, you won the Second World War and you beat Hitler. Good deal. Very good. When you win, you have to put what you won and what you lost. And this is what you lost and this is what you win. But overall, you won, man. You beat Hitler. At whose orders, Mr. Balfour? Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. Balfour Declaration.